Section 1, we do not agree with expanding the definition at this time, so we crossed that out because we're gonna leave it just like we have it on the transfer of leave MOU. And we're not expanding to grandparent and grandchild unless they're living that under the current definition, if they're a member of their own household, then that would qualify them for that purpose. So that's one, we are keeping it, and we're keeping that language the same. And which,
Yeah, with the immediate family,
mhm.
how come you took out the blood marriage or legal adoption? Because we've had people that have been denied bereavement leave for a step parent that is the actual person who brought them up. They lived with them their whole life.
So is that it? Where did I cross that out?
Well, we added that in the very front for when we did the definition, when we defined it.
Because everything in the contract stipulates the same definition for all, so we don't want to expand the definition.
Okay.
Like if you look at father, mother, brother, that's how we have it defined in the whole entire. That means that I will have to change leaves in all parts of the contract and expand that definition.
But shouldn't it include by marriage or legal adoption? That's, I mean, blood, marriage, legal adoption, we're not asking you to add grandparents or anything, we're asking with those to include adoption or marriage along with blood.
That's expanding that's expanding the definition.
So I guess when we go back to thinking about messaging and collaboration, this is a great example of that. I had a member reach out to HR for bereavement leave, and she had a step parent who passed away. That step parent basically raised her. And the communication to that person from whoever was in HR that she was reaching out to said, the union wrote this language and that's why you're not getting your bereavement. As if it was on us and it was, we were the problem. So
Was the step parent living with them?
They're adults, so they're not living with them now. They raised her. They lived with them their whole childhood, just like a regular mom or dad. I mean, and that's, a lot of our families are like that.
And was the step parent was a legal guardian of her raising her or him?
right, that's our understanding, is it was like somebody that had raised them, had been in their life the whole time. And we don't want to appear like we're a barrier for people getting bereavement leave, for people that's their parent.
Yep.
For this kind of relates to the section 17 on bereavement, but specifically it's back to the first page, section 2.
I'm going back. Just give it a sec.
But it kind of relates to the definitions.
Mhm.
The other close relative. So is there a place where that's clearly defined what other close relative is?
What has been the past interpretation?
Yeah, I thought it was just member of the household.
In the contract, it
That
has
is-
originally, it had.
It has other close, yeah, other close relative.
So that's one of the reasons why we're trying to define it in the definitions.
This
So we were-
actually opens it up.
Yeah, that opens it up even more than what we were trying to do.
It's related to the FMLA definition of family, so let me just go back to that, to their guidance and see how they. Because typically all these leaves have always followed the FMLA type definition that they do for family, so. Put a note for me to review close relative, yeah. It's relative. Okay.
And just so you know, by the way, almost every district around us has grandparents, all of that is in every single one of them. So just.
I understand,
Just saying it.
I understand, but it's just like a lot of districts do a lot of things that I wish we could do and afford. Honestly, I would love to give you 7 paid holidays, not 6, not 5. But we can't afford it. So keep adding, think about it, every little thing that I add on this contract costs money. So it's an actual expense.
But it might be more not about the flavor of relative, but the role that they played. So maybe instead of listing the relative's title, like parent or whatever, maybe, and this is just like, I know that I'm seeing more students, my prior students who are now graduating and becoming employees at the district, right? But I also know that there's a contingent of my former students that were raised by their grandparents, even though their paperwork saying that they were legal anything, right? So maybe the angle to look at is the role that the person played in the current employee's life. Is that the person who raised you? Get away from, was it illegal, whatever, because I think the reality is if we really want to support the people who are graduating and then becoming part of our workforce here for the school district, we need to embrace the reality that these relationships are what we're working with in a lot of situations.
Could I ask one clarifying question? Would it meet both sides' needs if you had the multiple days? Maybe you get 2 bereavement leaves and something beyond that, then like it wouldn't, other close family member could be a step parent who acted as the parent. I don't know.
It's just expanding the definition, comes down. Let me go look at what close relative to see what we can do with that word, okay?
It's just that it shuts out some people who, don't have more stereotypical family situations, and then they're struggling because they don't have the bereavement leave.
I understand what you're saying.